Hello and welcome back. We cooked up something special today. We got max stacks Blood Mage Thalnos. We're using Bane, 30% attack speed. Every time you cast a spell, he attacks faster and it stacks. So he can attack really fast once you get stacked high. And starting off here, we are using Spell Spam or Spell Cycle. We're using Smoke Bomb because it's cheap, 1 gold. Doesn't matter what talent or what level. That's why we had it in a bad army slot. It's not benefiting from levels. But it synergizes well with Defias Bandits, which allows them to re-stealth and get a second stun. We use Pick Lock with them to get a little extra gold in stage 1. Arcane Blast, Amplification is the best talent. The talent's not very important on Arcane Blast, however. We use it to cycle low-cost spells to get levels and Bane stacks on Thalnos. Polymorph adds vulnerability to the enemy, doubles the damage they take from Elemental, makes Thalnos a lot better. And Golden Fleece gives you a little bit of gold back so you can cycle better. Cheat Death, Vampirism allows you to keep your push alive with Thalnos and Ghoul, which keeps them both nice and healthy because it steals life, a lot of life when they attack. And Bone Shield on Ghoul allows it to get armor, which keeps it nice and healthy and a strong front line even when it's underleveled like this. This build is incredibly fun and incredibly rewarding to play, but it is very unforgiving if you mismanage your gold. It's very easy to overspend or overcommit and lose your Thalnos, so you gotta be careful with that. These relics are not very good. The Spider Whistle is negative synergy in my opinion because of the Huntresses. It allows their attacks to bounce onto Thalnos a lot easier, so we don't take that. We go with the Poison Nova on the tower, and we deploy our Defias Right to take this chest. We use Thalnos to pop the chest early. And you'll notice I spawned my Thalnos right in between the two lanes. On the right side though, because we're going to use Arcane Blast to soften up the left and get them attacking each other. And then we're going to use Arcane Blast on the right away to get them to attack each other. And we're going to do it again to bring them down to 30% health, or sorry, 70% health. Because once they fall to 70% health, they start attacking each other. They get a Bloodlust, they get a little cloud over their head, and they can't tell the difference between friend and foe. So we use that to our advantage to soften up the tower, and it primes us to push on the right. And this is very easy to duplicate. You can very easily set this up with Thalnos because the spawns are very similar on this map. This is one of the few dungeons where the spawns almost are always the same. So as long as you set it up just like that, it's very easy to duplicate. So I'm going to use my Defias Bandits here to hold this Ogre Mage, which is a bit of a misplay, I believe. If I could have cycled a little bit more to Thalnos, I could have used him to hold the Ogre Mage, and then I could have used the Defias Bandits to take this chest. Unfortunately, I didn't do that, so now I had to cycle all the way back, and it ends up costing me my Thalnos up here, who's going to walk into my Ghoul, and then he's going to get splashed by the Ogre Mage and die. So we get the extra gold back, which is nice, and this is what is allowing us to sustain, so I'm going to develop another Thalnos. You want to make sure you are operating within your means here, so don't overspend on gold. That's why I'm kind of cycling like 1-2 costs on the Arcane Blast. I'm using a Smoke Bomb to cycle, which is really nice. It's 1 cost, so it's not that big of a deal to use. The problem is when you start using too much. So here I lose my Thalnos because I didn't cheat death in time. You want to make sure to do it a little bit before you die, and if you're uncertain, then do it a little bit before that even, because it's more important that the unit doesn't die than it is to get maximum value every single time, though sometimes that maximum value can matter. So that ends up costing me my push, but I have a significant gold advantage, and I'm going to continue to develop it with the Defias on the right. That's what allows this first level to be so easy for me, is just being able to snowball these gold leads to get massive level advantages on my Thalnos and push forward. We can generally just ignore the left side and hold it with like 1 or 2 minis as we push the right. And you see here the boss is pretty low. I've staggered my Ghoul spawn and my Thalnos spawn just far enough so the Huntress isn't constantly bouncing onto the Thalnos, and this allows us to secure the victory against the Ogre. So Vanishing Powder, pretty good relic, but I found that it had negative synergy, so we're going to go with Poison on ranged, and that's pretty decent for just adding a little bit extra damage. But I found that the Vanishing Powder was somehow stealthing my tank, and then Thalnos would get in combat first, so the Prowlers would jump onto my Thalnos. So to combat that, you want to put your Thalnos off to the side here. You can use your base to tank damage. Think of your barracks health as a resource. I tried to kill that Banshee. It ends up costing the health down to 50%, but you know what? That's perfectly fine. So we're going to stagger our spawns here, and I'm going to use Cheat Death. This is the most important use of Cheat Death in the run because it secures my first push. You notice here my Thalnos is at full health because of the Vampirism talent on it, and now we are primed to take this right tower. And once we take the right tower, it is much easier to sustain in this level than it is if you don't take it and you're able to, hold your push as you go forward. So I'm able to stabilize here, and I do it again. I get a little bit greedy with Cheat Death, and if I had just used it a little bit sooner there, I might not have had enough gold, but if I had been able to use it a little bit sooner there, I would have kept my Thalnos alive, and this push would have gone all the way to the end and destroyed the boss. So now we're trying to claw back a little bit here. We got to work a little bit harder. So we're going to take this gold here, and then we got to go support our Thalnos push up top right. And once we are in this position, we are just waiting to use cheat death to tank this boss and kill him, because once he starts breathing, he's going to do a lot of damage. So I use my smoke bomb to delay, and I use cheat death to completely nullify his breath, which would melt my units otherwise, and then we just pummel him down here. And I get a little bit scared because I notice my base starting to take damage, so I go back there. But really, if I just stayed on the boss and I sniped these Defias bandits, we would have easily taken the boss down even faster because I wouldn't have got stunned. So I calculated the Scroll of Renewal only heals about 80 HP every 5 seconds, so I don't think it's that good, even at max level. So I go with the Band of the Protector to be able to cycle my gold a little bit faster, because cycling is really important for Thalnos. You want to be able to spend as much gold as you can on spells, and having a nice strong front line is good. So we're just going to hold this push here at my base. We're going to go right, and it's really important to use the right lane to scale your Thalnoses. We want to get max stacks on him, and this is his strongest stage by far, because you have a long empty pathway to walk down so you can scale Thalnos. So I walk my Defias in, we get the stun, and I start scaling the Thalnoses up. And just watch this. So what you can do here is, notice we got the stun first. I re-stealth the Defias bandits. She unfortunately got the curse on my Thalnos, and then we re-stun her again. So I unfortunately overestimated how much damage I was going to do to her. I thought I was going to kill her very quickly here. I ended up losing the Thalnos. But if I had cheat death there, we would be primed to basically delete this boss. But we're still going to delete him anyway. I mean, just watch this. So really cool thing here. It looks like cheat death works on the boss when she is under your control. However, I don't know if she heals from it. I don't think she benefits from the vampirism that it gives. So we're going to try and hold this left lane here. I don't want them to mine too much gold. I was a little bit late on the Defias. I probably should have sent it a little bit sooner. And you'll notice that Smoke Bomb actually works in the boss as well. So we're going to try and use that to our advantage here as we continue to scale the Thalnoses on the right. And we're going to nuke down this boss with a 7-level advantage. We're not even going to take out the healer in the back, because that's how powerful Thalnos is once he's scaled up. And just watch this. So once we engage here, we're going to try and just mess with the boss a bit. We're going to stealth here just to confuse him a bit. Then we're going to cheat death to not lose our ghoul. Now, I probably could have let the ghoul die and try to stagger it just a little bit more. I think that you can maintain your stacks on Bane, and by staggering your spells and using your gold wisely, you may be able to keep up the Bane stacks a little bit longer and having him attack faster for longer. So hopefully I've inspired you to try some spell spam max stack Thalnos builds of your own, and I hope you've all enjoyed the video. Hope to catch you on the flip side. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.